Today, we'll be taking a look at how you can maximize your profit off of Netherweave cloth. This is one of my favorite shuffles. I really like the Mageweave shuffle, the Rune Cloth shuffle, the Netherweave shuffle, and the Ember Silk shuffle. Those are the four main ones that I really use. But if I had to choose one out of those four, it would be a tough one between the Netherweave and Ember Silk. Mostly because the Netherweave is really cheap to get. However, the Ember Silk is fairly easy to obtain, and it may not be that cheap. However, the hypnotic dust that you get from it sells for quite a bit of gold. It's the most expensive dust that you can get, at least from old content, and it's just a really good gold making method. However, we'll be taking a look at the Netherweave side of the shuffles. There are a few different transmog items that you can actually craft. However, I will be crafting the Netherweave bracers. It takes 5 of the raw cloth to make one bolt. So you'll want to make sure that you are spending around, I believe it is 15 gold total for your Ember Silk cloth, so I wouldn't be spending any more than 1 gold per cloth. You can also buy the bolts out pretty cheap if those are cheap enough. I'm going to try my best to explain all of that here in a second. However, the bolts, or the bracers and belt, drop a good amount of dust. The arcane dust sells fairly quickly for me. I can usually sell it within 6 hours of me posting it. A lot of that could just be the server that I am on, but I've had a lot of luck on a couple different servers as well, so it could just be my luck. I'm not too sure on that. You can craft the bags if you really wanted to. I don't like to do it because there's usually quite a bit of competition. I mean, sometimes if you find cheap enough Netherweave cloth on the auction house, you can put the bags up for decently cheap and they'll get sniped. I've done that a couple of times, but you don't make anywhere as much gold as you can from disenchanting gear. So right now, we are looking at the average amount of gold that we will be getting, and it looks like the average is about 20 gold. So that means you won't want to spend any more than 20 gold, at least on my server, for the Netherweave cloth, or the amount of materials that it takes to craft the belt or the bracers. It really doesn't matter which one you do. I believe I do both. And there is thankfully a macro that you can use to disenchant stuff a little bit faster. So I'm not the best at explaining stuff, so bear with me. On my server, Netherweave is going for about 1 gold, so that's about the price that I would stop at for looking for Netherweave cloth. You will want to make sure that the price of the dust that you're getting is a little bit higher than the amount it costs you to craft the item that you are crafting. I do recommend that you do the belt or the bracers because they only take 3 of the bolts, and that's actually pretty good price. After you get done with that, you can also craft bolt of imbued netherweave, which is actually also a pretty decent seller on my server. I believe that is probably what the dust mostly goes for, is for the imbued netherweave, because people use it for transmog items. The imbued netherweave sells for, looks like, an average of 70 gold, and it only takes 2 dusts to craft, so in total on my server I would be spending about 35 gold to actually craft one of these bolts, which sells for 70 gold, so therefore I would pretty much double my profit if I was to buy the netherweave off the auction house. If I was to go out and farm it, which I will show you guys actually a really good farming location and how I make a ton of gold off of this shuffle in a later video. That guide has made me probably around 3 to 400k. It's a really fun, easy, and it's actually really quick as well. It's the amount of materials that you get and fast selling items that you are able to obtain. It's a really good farm. If dusts sell on your auction house or the imbued netherweave cloth sells decently, then I do recommend that you give it a try. You could also craft the soul cloth if you really wanted to. I've not had a whole lot of luck selling it, at least not at the price that a lot of people are posting it at. So I don't know if people just don't know anything about it, don't know where to get the recipes for those, or if it's really just not worth it. But that is my netherweave shuffle. You should be able to make easily about 20k an hour doing this. However, I believe you need to have around 560 bolts to make it a full hour. Let me calculate that really quick, because it takes me 15 minutes to fill up full hexweave bags, and including my regular backpack, which that is, I believe, 132 bag slots. and that's not including the 4 extra ones that people with the authenticator now have. So it takes 528 bolts to complete a full hour's worth of this shuffle. For me, I can make usually 30 to 35k an hour off of this, but I'm lowballing it because not every server has a good sell rate for the arcane dust. Don't forget that you can use the dust for the imbued Netherweave cloth, which I also forgot if I can find it. You also need the imbued Netherweave cloth for the 4 claws that you need to craft the, or I guess there's 3. You need the imbued Netherweave for the 3 claws that you craft with the primals. I believe that will be all for now. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe for more content.